Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, that's my good friend and co-host, Nick Mason.
What a week. What a week it's been.
Why do you say that?
We're going to talk about the TV series Black Mirror.
It's true.
We're going to talk about Novocaine, but then we were
I was watching Black Mirror and I was like, you know what? A lot of this reflects what's actually happening. It's like we're already there. That's what I was saying to the TV.
Interesting. Are you sure you weren't watching the news? The current news?
Wow.
Yeah. Makes you think, doesn't it?
I actually was watching the current news.
Wow.
I was watching Landline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Wheat prices.
A lot of
and such.
agriculture stuff.
Yeah,
and I went,
thought,
wow, this really is
reflective of society.
Yeah. This is a Black Mirror. Wheat and wheat.
I get ads on Twitter now that are just like thinking about investing in wheat.
Are you?
Now I am. I wasn't before. Or it's like, here's a new agricultural technique. You want to click on this link and find out more about it? And I'm like,
you know what it is?
Yeah.
You're a man of a certain age. You're thinking about getting back to the land, which you'll never do. Because I don't think this exactly. I might.
I'm thinking about taking a day trip to Warrnambool. Does that count?
I guess that counts. Yeah, I guess that counts.
Yeah. I'm going to stop off at Pombo Mart.
Well, you should.
I think I will.
Tell me what's going on there. Crimes, probably.
Probably crimes.
Yeah.
What an incredible start. I was going to say we were going to watch the movie Novocaine, but then we've decided not to do that because we have to leave the house. So maybe next week or never. Or when it comes out
next
on
week is Sinners.
Next week is Sinners. That's true.
So that's definitely next week.
So that's Ryan Coogler.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yep.
It's Michael B. Jordan
Michael
again.
C. Jordan. There's two of them.
Oh.
That's a joke. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
When I say it's a joke, do you understand what I'm saying? Not the joke, but do you understand that I was attempting a joke?
Oh, I see. No, I do understand that, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Go on. Good.
I'll give you an A for effort.
Thank you.
And a Michael C. Jordan for execution.
Appreciate that.
Which is second rate.
That's fine.
Or
that's
he's
fine
better?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know
We'll have
yet.
to say it this week.
Yeah.
Big news this week, though, Mason. We're going to be talking about Star Wars in the world of horror, crossing over.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about the impact of tariffs on the Hollywood film industry release schedule in China.
Somebody's been watching Landline.
Yeah, it's true. We're going to talk about what's going on with the Batman and some, I don't know, just some pretty ordinary news, I guess we have to talk about.
Oh.
We don't have to,
Oh.
but it's kind of part of it. We're going to talk about the Amazon Lara Croft Tomb Raider series and what's going on with it.
Nothing?
It's dead,
To nothing?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least somebody got some money.
It's true.
So much money.
We're going to talk The Last of Us Season 3.
Oh.
We've got trailers for Predator, Killer of Killers, Murderbot, and Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. And then we'll Black Mirror it. Speaking of, if you do want to jump just to that, you can go into the time codes below.
For now.
But
maybe in the future, there's a dystopian future where you have to listen to all the boring parts of a podcast before you get to the part you're actually
you can't
interested
even
in.
listen to it at double speed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless you stab yourself in the arm.
Whoa.
That's right. For an audience of paying
So they're
lunatics.
watching you
Listen to a podcast. Yep.
And normally, I guess.
Yeah. They're lunatics in an asylum, but they've got money. They've got generational wealth.
Great.
But they're not allowed. But their only outlet is watching you listen to a podcast, but you can't speed through the bits you don't want to listen to unless you stab yourself.
God, that's Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as an example, most people would have skipped through this bit.
Okay.
But they can't.
in
this
the future.
dystopian future. Yeah.
Right, which is going to happen.
I think so.
Didn't you guest on a podcast?
I did guest on a podcast.
Why am I reminding you of that? You should be coming at me with that hot off the presses.
That's true. Well, our friend Josh Earl, who's
Probably that joke that I did, and it probably...
That derailed everything. That changed my whole world and my whole worldview, actually.
That's what jokes can do. A lot of people don't know that, but comedians, like myself,
Go on.
we're the new truth tellers.
That's so true.
And I am a comedian, aren't I?
That's what people are saying. Josh Earl, who did the podcast Don't You Know Who I Am, as well as Four Burners. Here's another podcast called I'll Be Your Biggest Fan.
Wow.
Where he talks to a guest and they talk about all the things they've been a fan of throughout their lives.
God.
Previous episode was Tom Walker, great comedian.
Whoa.
And on this one, great comedian Nick Mason.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Making all sorts of jokes.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And if you're like, man, all the things Nick Mason was probably a fan of when he was a kid, very predictable based on his current life.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're correct.
Well, at least they condensed
Transformers and movies and stuff.
Yeah, but they got it down to 21 minutes.
That's
didn't
true,
they?
yeah.
It's a brisk listen.
It's a brisk listen.
Did you mention me?
Yes.
Just
I mean, maybe that's not
Did you
in
say
the
how
edit,
tall
though.
I am?
I didn't, but I could call Josh and we could...
If you could,
we
yeah.
could put an
Put
edit
in the
there.
description.
Okay, great.
Great.
Yeah.
Mason, let's start with this.
And maybe like a picture of
This
you
is not what we're
standing
starting
up.
with, by the way.
No, it's a picture of you standing up, and there's the height measures.
Yeah.
And then like a sperm whale or something for scale.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
The sperm whale standing on its tail, right?
Correct.
Directly
Yes.
up. Yeah. Business Insider, they're saying this, Mason. They spoke to Tony Gilroy because, of course, Andor's starting
I
soon.
prefer a Business Outsider
Why is that?
because you're in
I think
nature.
outside.
You're in nature.
Warrnambool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Open fire.
Yep, okay.
You're roasting marshmallows and Business Outsider's there. He's got his cork hat on.
G'day, boys.
G'day, boys. It's me, the Business Outsider.
Okay.
Now, tariffs. Tell you this about tariffs.
What do you want to know? Well, no, what do we want to know? I don't know.
I'm liking this new character I found called the Business Outsider. Can't wait for him to come up every time Business Insider is mentioned. Do we have a beef with Business Insider? I can't remember.
Something happened?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Stupid.
Anyway, they spoke to Tony Gilroy about Andor.
Oh, yes.
And they said, it's like they're up to all sorts of stuff because he was kind of like trying to push the boundaries of what can you do with Star Wars? Can you do a sitcom, etc.?
That's in the magazine, the headline. It just says Tony Gilroy's up to all sorts of stuff.
I agree. Because it was talking about what if there was like a 3-camera sitcom situation, and I just don't think they would do that. Also, they probably shouldn't. I can't imagine that would be funny either.
Maybe.
Except if it's like a cameo from Darth Vader, and they're like, "My boss is coming for dinner. It's Darth Vader."
That's right.
And he's like, "Did you bring a tube that I could stuff into my sarcophagus?" Sarcophagus?
Yep.
Sure. He brings his sarcophagus, his big water sarcophagus that he sleeps in. So
The
he can absorb all
honeymooners,
the
but it's
nutrients.
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. What about that?
Love that.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Brie kids. Brie Luke. Prook.
Yeah, pre-Luke era.
Prook.
Prook era,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
exactly.
what they call it. Amazing.
Oh, one of you fix those moisture converters? She's mad.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He's waiting for a
It's
child.
the one thing he has to do.
Yeah, he's waiting for a child to be, delivered to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Anyway.
Very dry humor. Very dry humor because it's the planet Tatooine.
That's good, Mason.
Thank you.
He said in regards to horror,
But
said,
some moist humor.
some voice. Well, they'd have to be.
Yeah.
In regards to horror, as in like a horror project, a Star Wars themed horror project, he said they're doing that. I think they're doing that. I think that's in the works. Yeah.
It won't be as good as my show, Andor, which
Agreed.
is the best show.
Probably the best Star Wars of all time, also in my opinion. Big deal to say that, I know. It'll probably be a zombie
But you're a
thing.
truth teller, aren't you?
I am. But it'll be just a zombie thing, I assume.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, which they already sort of did in
yeah.
Ahsoka.
Animated Rebel style?
No,
if
I think
guess?
they mean like a proper.
Okay,
I hope he means
live
like-
action. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see some ghosts. What
Sure.
else? You know what I'd like to see? A serial killer
Star Wars serial killer.
in the Star Wars universe, and you send, I don't know, a Jedi to investigate, and he's like, I don't know. None of us are really. We're all vaguely good at some things.
Sure.
You know. So yeah,
Detectiving, not my cup of tea,
No,
honestly.
I mean, you saw Obi-Wan's detecting in episode 2. He turned up to the clone facility. And he's like, "What's that?" And they're like, "All the clones." And he goes, "Oh, that's new to me. I mean, I know. I know what this is."
Because I invented this, I think. That's my character, self.
Yeah, that's right. So how you feeling about that?
I'll watch some
there's
of that, maybe.
a million things they're probably working on and cancelling and all of the time. But
That's right.
yeah, I don't know. It depends who's on it. Depends on the execution.
A million kyber crystals in the kyber crystal fire, as they say.
That's what they
Don't
do say.
They say that.
Everyone's always saying that. So yeah, whatever, I guess. THR, Mason. They're saying this. The headline is China mulling ban on Hollywood film releases in response to Trump tariffs.
Uh-oh.
You familiar with this? All these tariffs going up and down?
I've heard of these tariffs.
And the stock market's up and down?
I'm just hearing about these right now. Is that one? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm hearing this.
Yeah, he often is hearing something for the first time,
Yeah.
inexplicably.
Yeah.
But you know that's not true. They're like, what about this guy? And he's like, I don't know that guy. I don't know him. And he's like, he's standing
We've been practicing our Trump
We
impressions
have,
off air.
just to each other.
Yeah.
He's standing behind you. What are you talking about? Hollywood's luck in China, the world's second largest film market, could soon run out, according to statements issued Tuesday by 2 influential public figures in the country. So there's 2
The country of China?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
2 widely followed Chinese bloggers posted an identical set of measures the local authorities are said to be mulling over in response to Trump's 54% tariffs on all Chinese goods, which the president vowed to increase to 104% if Beijing didn't back down from a pledge to match the current US tariff rate. I think at the moment, most of the stuff is at 125%. I can't keep track of it.
We'll see by the
but
time.
it excludes some electronics. And
Electronics was excluded
Yeah.
today, I assume, because Apple put a word in or something,
Yeah.
and they were like,
That's all our stuff.
Yeah, that's our
Your
stuff.
phone will go up $2,000.
Yeah. Or even more. Like, I read something like your phone might be like $30,000 if they made it in America.
Sick. That'd be awesome. I think also, because they want to export more things. Trump's talking about why doesn't, we bring in all these cars and nobody's buying our cars. Your cars are too fucking big, man.
Big.
I fucking hate those cars. Whenever I see them on the road here, they don't fit anything. They're the worst.
They take up two car spaces.
Yeah.
Too big.
Nobody wants that shit.
Yeah.
Keep it in your own goddamn country. I'm car racist. You know that, right?
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you got a little car.
I've got
You're
a little-
zipping around having the time of your goddamn life. I've got a big-ish car for here.
But that's normal.
But this is like normal. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's like this car's like double the size of my car.
Yeah. I love zipping around a little
You're
car.
zipping around.
Make an F-150, but it's just an F50. And it's really small.
Exactly.
It's a third of the size. I would love that.
Yep.
It's like one of those cars you put a coin in outside the front of the supermarket. It just goes
Dip
back,
back
and
and
forth, but
forth.
it's my real car. I'd buy that.
Exactly. The list of moves include reducing or banning the import of films of US films into the country. It's also tariffs on agricultural goods, interesting, and US services, among other countermeasures. So yeah, this is obviously one normal man having a normal one, trying to break and then reverse what he broke a little bit and go, I did this. I made things better, but it's like, no, you fucked it, and then you made it slightly better, but it's still fucked from the original time that you fucked it.
So by the time this comes
What is
out,
he doing?
all this information will be out of date. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are saying, is it a pump and dump? I don't think it is.
I think it might be.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's part of it, but I
Yeah,
don't
right.
think that's the
a nice
whole...
fringe benefit that all the
Yeah, I don't
millionaires
think-
are getting more money. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so under former trade agreements, China committed to releasing, this is prior to now, 34 foreign films per year under revenue share terms, with an overseas studio permitted to 25% share of ticket sales.
Okay.
So if you look at like the Minecraft movie, for example, on the opening weekend in China, that made $14 million. And the Minecraft movie is blowing up. It's huge. But
Yeah.
that was like...
Do we have a segment to talk about the Minecraft movie this week? I know
We can
talked about it
definitely
last
do that, yeah. We'll squeeze that in.
We'll squeeze that in.
We'll do it after this. Why not?
Okay.
And then, for example, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, that made $132 million
Pretty good.
in China.
Yeah, big market.
Yeah. So I guess if this, I think this will a lot of this will be walked back, or there'll be some balance will be struck on this at some point. I don't know what that looks like, obviously, because it changes by the minute, it seems. But if this was permanent, I think, there would probably movies that, are built almost to cater to the Chinese market. I think that'll change a bit.
We'll
But
finally get some ghosts in these movies.
God damn it, please. But also, it seems as if China was...
They don't like ghosts for some reason.
I know they don't.
That's what we've been told. I don't know.
And
if
they
that's
don't like
actually true.
Star Wars. They
Yeah.
hate Star Wars.
That's interesting. Okay,
Star Wars always bombs there.
But they like I Show Speed.
Do they?
Remember that
Oh, yeah,
guy?
he was just there.
He was
What-
just
there,
there, and
wasn't
he's
he?
like, "Whoa, look at this car!
Whoa.
Look at this monorail!
Whoa.
Whoa! I'm jumping them."
He's jumping them.
Yeah.
That's good for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. But they're building up their own film industry. We now know that the biggest movie of all time is a Chinese film.
Oh.
It overtook, is it everything at this point?
Might have
It's
done.
like a $2 billion film.
Nice.
It earned $2 billion. So I think they're slowly stepping away from American releases regardless. But yeah, the Chinese market used to be huge and it has been diminishing, and this is just kind of further doing that. Anyway, Minecraft.
Well, all I wanted to say is that
I'm talking about Minecraft.
Minecraft. I don't know if
You
we
brought it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm wasting your time.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go back to the thing we were already talking about, but you want to talk about Minecraft now.
I want to talk about Minecraft.
Let's do it now.
Well, all I wanted to say is that, clearly it's doing really well.
Yeah.
And last week I said something to the effect of, people are going absolutely wild in the cinema. Like that was my experience. It's been the experience all over the place. We've seen videos of it, from all around the world, this happening. And I was under the impression that people were doing it because they're like, oh, when they were kids, or they are kids and they love Minecraft. And so they're just so excited to see this game translated to the big screen.
We all are.
But I've been told a number of times by a number of people, no, it's actually it's an ironic meme situation. It's like it's like a brain poison meme thing where everybody knows it's bad.
Yeah.
But they're just going in
Throwing popcorn.
There's been a lot of on TikTok, there's been a lot of people breaking apart the trailer and going nuts over the trailer. And so every time a line from the trailer's in the movie, everybody goes insane and throws popcorn and sets off fireworks and whatever. Lets the chicken loose.
Oh my God.
When
the chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey, that's happening. Yeah.
Wow. We didn't understand irony until now. No, I get it.
Yeah. But I think it's probably akin to that
everyone dressed up in suits to go see the Minions.
movie, exactly. Yeah.
But just more chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Just maybe don't. Because the people that you're annoying are the people who have to clear up the cinema and deal with people being fucking annoying.
What I would do personally is see if you can arrange a screening in like the CEO of Warner Brothers office.
Yeah, exactly. David Zaslav.
And then when the chicken jockey scene happens, you can scream and yell and throw popcorn.
Yeah,
and
you can throw him out
let
a
the chicken
window.
loose.
You
and
can
then
throw
it's-
him out a window.
Then it's his problem.
You can throw him out a window.
Because he's been hurled out a window to his death. He's been defenestrated, yes.
Which I don't think you should do, by the way.
Okay. Well, I'm saying hashtag defenestrate David Zaslav. I'm saying we get that going.
We don't do hashtags here, Mason.
Don't we do them all the time?
Yeah, we do a lot of them.
We do a lot of hashtag-based humor.
Yeah.
Hashtag-based humor.
Yeah.
Let's get that trending.
You're one of those people who you leave all your rubbish when you leave the cinema, don't you?
No.
And you go, that's for you. And
No.
you point on the way
How
out.
dare you?
How dare I?
How dare you?
I heard you glued all your rubbish to the floor once.
I mean, I did that, but it was several times. Yes. But it was in neatly arranged bags 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
So they had to spend looking for bag number 3.
Oh, that's
But
fun.
It wasn't gone. It
I
was
love
gone.
this joke.
Yeah, this joke we do all the time.
We've had 2 jokes so far, both really good. I also don't mind people, you want to go, you want to have a good
Hog
time.
wild?
Hog wild, as it were. I think that's great. But, and if you are going to throw popcorn around, maybe clean up.
Maybe clean up.
But,
Maybe bring a vacuum.
yeah, it's a movie that neither of us care about.
Maybe bring a brand new Dyson
Very
vacuum,
good, man. That's a
stick
good-
vacuum.
that's a good
Bring
one.
one of those in. Hoover up all that popcorn.
Yep, you can do it.
Yeah.
This is via Nexus Point News.
Oh yeah.
They say the Batman won't begin filming until early 2026 at the earliest. That's related to apparently Robert Pattinson being cast in Dune 3.
He's been cast in June 3.
This has been continually pushed back. And there was some news this week, and I don't like talking about this, but it came up. This is via Grace
it's a bit
Randolph.
grubby?
Yeah, it is. She said, if you knew what
But you're a bit grubby.
I am. It's true. If you knew what Matt Reeves has directed the first Batman, and we will this one, hopefully. If you knew what Matt Reeves was dealing with, you'd leave him alone. I mean, it's not a Chadwick Boseman situation, but it's close. You should leave Matt Reeves alone. So implying that him or someone close to him is sick, potentially terminal. I don't know if there's any validity to any of this, obviously, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if this is true, it could explain why this is continually being pushed back. Or but there's other people saying this isn't true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't like this.
No. People have also been saying something to the effect of, well, they don't want to do, somebody in this camp, maybe it's James Gunn or whoever, ultimately doesn't want to do the Batman 2 because they want to do a new Batman for this new DCU.
Yeah.
And so they don't want people to be confused. But again, I don't think that matters.
I don't think so
I
either.
saw this name pop up a number of times this week in the running for the new Batman. Are you familiar with Brandon Sklenar?
Yeah, he's come up a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in It Ends With Us, which is that Blake Lively movie that was very controversial for some reason. He's in Drop.
I mean,
which is
there's an ongoing.
there is an
legal
ongoing
case.
legal battle. Yeah, he's in the airdropping.
The Michael Jordan shoe movie.
No, Drop.
Drop.
It's
Drop.
It's a movie about.
The train song, Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah, it's about the making of the song Drops of Jupiter.
Fantastic.
He wrote it on the toilet.
Did he?
The train guy.
While he was doing Drops of Jupiter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But go on.
And he's also in 1923, which is the Yellowstone prequel. Apparently. Does he look like a Batman to you? Could do.
I mean, yeah.
Is
whatever.
he tall? He's probably tall.
He's probably tall. What's his name? How do you spell his name?
Brandon. So like, let's go Brandon, that thing you were always saying.
I'm always saying that.
You're always saying, let's go Brandon, then Sklenar, which is that nonsense word you made
yeah,
up.
he's kind of, he's 34. He's kind of a Ryan Gosling looking guy.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yep.
He's 1.88 meters tall. What's
Whoa.
that? 6'1"? 6'2"?
That could be 6'2".
6'2", yeah. I mean, which
Okay.
means he's probably 6 foot.
Right. Or 5'9".
Or 5'9", yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Good as any.
Uh-huh. You giving that Bruce Wayne hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a guy we don't know.
Absolutely.
Or like,
Well, we know him from 1923.
yeah, we know him now. But I wish I didn't know that, because now when he gets cast as Batman, I'll be like, you're losing a shout at I know who this
Exactly.
man is.
I've seen this man on a toilet with a notepad writing the song Drops of Jupiter.
Yes.
You know?
Fantastic. So, we'll see what happens there. Batman,
She checks out Mozart while she does Tybo. All those classic lines.
What's that even? How are you checking
Checking
out?
out. That's an awful line. It's one of the worst lines I've ever heard in a song.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll
well, he
say.
wrote it on the toilet, so you got to give him some credit.
No, that's a relaxing time. His thoughts can
Wonder.
wander. What are you imagining some sort of under the pump toilet situation where he has to get out of there? Is he backstage? And he's
I
like,
think he might be straighting, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the fans are cheering, and he's like, I gotta finish.
They're
being on
cheering the
toilet."
name of the song, and he's furiously trying to finish it
Yeah.
before he comes out.
That's right, because he promised it. Earlier
Yeah,
on.
listen, I gotta do songs, Drops of Jupiter. Just give me 5 minutes. But he hadn't finished it, Mason.
No, but he had to finish it on the toilet. Anyway, this is all in the movie Drop, which is a big hit.
This is by the Daily Mail.
Oh, Daily Fail.
Wow, got him. Amazon's Lara Croft TV series from Phoebe Waller-Bridge is apparently not going ahead. Dead is the word used in the article. Now, we talked about recently people who got huge development deals but haven't done anything with them.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it's a fault of the person. It could also keep them off the playing board, which means they can't go to other streaming services.
I see what you're saying, right.
So she's locked into Netflix. She can't go to...
So she's just a pawn.
Yeah, can't
Phoebe
make
Waller-Bridge.
Fleabag too. Or maybe she's just collecting a check. I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, who's the sneakiest in these arrangements? Is it J.J. Abrams?
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams doing a Netflix deal and then another deal and an additional deal? Is it those...
He's got a HBO deal, I think.
Yeah,
or a
is it
Warner's
those
deal.
Game of Thrones guys?
No, they did Three Body Problem.
Oh, they did.
They actually made
they produced
a show.
something. Okay,
I don't
right.
know how they did that or why they didn't need
yeah.
to. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Waste of time.
So, yeah, it's either a case of, they've attempted to develop a bunch of stuff and it hasn't come to fruition, or they've got some clause in their contract where they're like, it doesn't matter what I do or produce or anything, you still have to pay me. So,
well, speaking of, Waller-Bridge signed a $20 million deal in 2019 worth $20 million.
wow.
But also,
What a twist.
I should point out, that's $20 million per year.
Whoa.
But she has produced, as of then,
Nothing?
0 shows.
That's incredible.
Puck's Matt Maloney said Tomb Raider, which
Matt Maloney?
Yep.
All
We've
right.
talked about him before. Which Waller-Bridge has been working on, and which Solke, she's a
I think you should do it in
producer.
a Matt Maloney style voice.
And what would that sound like?
He's a New York guy.
I'm a New York guy. I'm Matt Maloney.
Thank you.
Tomb Raider,
perfect.
which Waller-Bridge was working on with Solke. What's that? It's a rat eating a pizza.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm doing New York.
He's not in New York.
Isn't he?
No.
Where is he?
He's in England.
Okay, well,
where
I don't...
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is.
Okay, yeah. They were personally overseeing after announcement of the series picked up last May, but now has gone through 2 writers' room and tens of millions of dollars in development costs. There's still no script.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Must be nice to get money. $20 million.
A year.
A year.
Wow. So what's that now? 2019?
It's been 6 years.
Yeah, okay. That's wow.
That
all right.
cannot be true. Surely not.
I don't know, man.
They must have cut this off at some point.
So 100 to 120 million
I
dollars
mean,
and nothing's been
what's
produced.
that for Amazon? Nothing.
That is nothing for Amazon,
peanuts.
I guess. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess so. God damn. I mean, I was interested. Apparently, Sophie Turner might have been Tomb Raider.
Okay, sure.
So, but apparently this is, again, not happening.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know.
Good work, all involved.
All involved good work, and we respect it.
That we respect it.
Speaking of video games, Mason.
Go on.
Well, first of all, we have to look at the Uncharted movie this week for Caravan of
Oh,
Garbage.
that's right. Well, lucky us, we've already done it.
Yeah, we did. It's coming out. What'd you think?
It's bad.
Yeah, but it was nice to revisit it.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. The Last of Us Season 3, though, has been announced by HBO Max.
Okay.
Which isn't surprising, seeing as, well, that's what they're up to. Apparently, this upcoming season, which I guess might have started by the time this comes out, it's got a 93% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently, there's some criticism regarding the narrative structure, and that might be because the second game is broken into 2 seasons. And there's some pretty significant moments in it.
Okay.
One in particular, which I'm not going to spoil here. I'm presuming that's on the back end of the first season. Apparently, though, unlike Game of Thrones, this won't go beyond the games.
I see.
So this will be the last of Us for a while.
Okay.
Though there has been many rumors suggesting that there is a Last of Us 3 coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last of Us.
3 Last of Us. Last for us. Last 3 us. Thank you.
I don't like it.
Thank you.
I don't like it.
So there you go. I think this could improve on the game.
Good do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I believe that in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice of him to reverse Phoebe Waller-Bridge, though, isn't it?
Completely agree.
In a deal, make the thing.
Make the thing.
Make the video game thing. Even.
Wow, yeah. And it's good too. I hope this is good. I mean, we'll see when it comes out, but good things. Trailers ahoy, Mason.
Honk.
The fuck was that?
It's a car just gone by.
What?
Yeah.
The boat's not. I don't want to talk about it. I'm done with this.
All right.
I'm done with it.
We can develop another bit. Don't worry. We'll see how it goes.
Predator Killer of Killers.
Animated.
Animated movie coming out on Disney Plus.
Movie? Or it's an anthology movie. It's not a TV series.
It's not an anthology movie. Sort of. Well, it is. It's by Dan Trachtenberg.
He did Prey, the movie
He did.
Prey.
And he's also doing
Which
Predator.
by coincidence is also a
Badlands.
Predator movie.
That's right. So it's going to Disney Plus and Hulu on June 6th.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, it follows a Viking raider, a ninja in feudal Japan, and a World War II fighter race, and they're all going up against a predator.
Same guy? Same predator?
It seems that way, potentially. I like this.
Yeah, me too.
I think the animation style is cool. It's doing that choppy frame rate thing, which people don't always love. So, But I think maybe that'll change over the... Thanks a lot, Spider-Verse, by the way, for giving us that.
Yeah.
Now that everyone's doing it.
That's right.
But no, I don't know. I thought this would look worse for some reason, but I think it looks good and unique and fun.
I'd never given it a second thought until the trailer came out.
I agree
like,
with
this
you.
looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
At what point do you think the other predators are like, hey man, what you're doing is actually not fair? Like you've got an invisible spacecraft and you're fighting
And you're
like,
invisible.
And you're invisible and you're fighting like guys in biplanes or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems uncool. Actually,
It's fun.
what you're doing. I'd forgotten it was fun.
I think they're the weird rednecks of their.
I guess they're probably
they
are,
go on other worlds and killing people very easily. You know,
Yeah.
they don't all like it. They're all like, don't. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like horse racing. Like people watch it, but they're like, I don't know about this anymore. You know,
Okay.
you should go man to man or
Yep.
predator to predator. Even then, that's unfair. I feel.
Yeah.
But anyway,
They
looking forward to
say
it.
there's an up to the cup
Yeah,
in Australia. It's dunt to the hunt. You've got to say dunt to the hunt. You
I
know,
agree.
back in the alien homeworld.
what's dunt mean?
Yeah, dunt.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
You know?
Yeah.
The guy's like, I've just put on my plasma cannon and my spears and all my
And my net.
and my nets and stuff.
The
And,
net that-
I've got a new spear that I spear somebody to a wall and the spears come out the side and it cuts them in half.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I'm just going to get on a spaceship and I go to Earth. And they're like, oh, dunt to the hunt.
You nearly said a different word.
I
there.
did.
But you didn't.
I didn't.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to it. Next, we've got Murderbot coming to Apple Plus.
Mm-hmm.
This is based on the Martha Wells series All Systems Red, which started in 2017.
Okay.
So it's about a machine cyborg man, mostly a robot potentially.
With the face of one of the Sarsgaards.
That's right.
Peter
Bill,
Sarsgaard? Bill
I
Skarsgård.
think.
It's a Sarsgaard or a Skarsgård.
Yeah. And he becomes self-aware, but then he wants to work for money and
And
stuff.
he calls himself Murderbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is
Now, the
fun.
biggest upset I saw on this was people going, oh, he has to have a human face. But apparently he does have a human face in the original.
What's the problem then?
I don't know. I mean, it's humanoid, I suppose. But people are like, oh, why does he have to do this? Why can't he just be the helmet and you never see his face?
I know.
I don't mind.
I was going to sneeze.
Go on. You still can.
I don't think I can.
Wow.
Not with people watching.
Huh. I'll turn away. But then the puppet will still be watching.
Puppet's looking at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't look over there.
Okay. Seems the sneeze has passed.
It
Or
has,
has it?
Mason. It'll be
Maybe it'll
back.
recur later.
I hope so.
Chekhov's sneeze. James's sneeze.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we got another trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of this trailer is spent listing off all the insane things that Ethan Hunt has done.
That's right.
And one of them they mentioned is like, yeah, he did that like 2 months ago, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
Because they're going back to they talk about stuff back in like the 90s that he
Mm-hmm.
did. Do you see the passport from the 80s? I think we're finally going to get that Ethan Hunt 80s flashback
Maybe we will.
that we sort of got in the last one. Apparently the budget on this is $400 million.
Damn.
Is this $1 billion movie?
No.
I don't know.
The last
man.
one wasn't.
Yeah, Christopher McQuarrie's back. Looks like. Do you think it's going to be the last one with Ethan Hunt?
Yeah.
I think they won't kill him, but he'll disappear.
Okay,
for a
here's the
while.
thing. I would have a week ago. I would have said yes, it is the last one. But the Oscars recently announced they're going to do a stunt
Stunt,
category,
yeah.
and they're going to start it the year after the last Mission Impossible movie.
But once he,
Rude.
yeah, good point. I was going to say, but once he gets that Oscar, wouldn't he be satiated? But he won't for this.
Yeah,
Do you think that? I mean, he does stunts in other movies,
that's true.
but nobody cares.
Yeah.
Is that true? No, Top Gun.
No.
Stunts.
No.
There's an aircraft carrier in this. They give him an aircraft carrier.
There's a couple of interesting things in this. First of all, I don't think the main big stunt is in this trailer. I think they might be saving it for.
Oh, okay.
I
The
don't know what it is.
biplane thing.
I think there's an even bigger stunt.
There's that bit where he's got that fun hair on the biplane. Looks like he's got a bowl cut.
He's got a Mo from the Three Stooges haircut, which you pointed out means that if he doesn't have stuff in his hair, that's how his hair normally looks.
Yeah, it sits flat
like
in a
just
bowl
a flat
cut.
bowl cut.
Which I think was that his Valkyrie hair? No, it wasn't that era. It was that era.
Okay,
I mean,
right.
He did have a bowl cut at one point.
It looks as if maybe the final reckoning might be Ethan Hunt getting into some sort of cyber sarcophagus and getting into a virtual world and talking to the entity.
Oh my god.
Do you think it's going to look like his wife?
Maybe
Or like that lady who died in the last one?
It will
Rebecca something?
You're probably right. It'll probably be her. But it'll be someone from the past movies that we'll have to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's all of them. It's Simon Pegg and all of them are like, I can look like anybody because Simon Pegg maybe dies in this movie or whatever. Dun, 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 dun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
May 22nd, as mentioned.
Maybe he'll be like, look, you can predict the future and you can change the course of world history. But have you considered that guy who got diarrhea in the first movie?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's back.
What?
Yeah.
He's got even more diarrhea.
On the Entity.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ethan
Hunt's, he's 10 steps ahead. You wouldn't.
Do you think somebody was already in the Entity machine and they pulled them out and put him in?
Oh. No.
Emilio Estevez? Because you've had that idea that Emilio Estevez is the Entity potentially?
Yeah. Or it's the guy who had diarrhea.
He comes back?
He's in this. Yeah, he's in
That's
the trailer.
actually him.
That's actually him. It's the same actor. Yeah.
I know because there's a flashback to him, but it is actually him in this.
Yeah, he's got a beard now.
God.
Yeah. Also, new additions to the cast. I mean,
Yep.
we knew this already, but Nick Offerman's in this. Trammell Tillman from Severance is in
Oh,
this.
yes.
There's somebody else in this as well.
Maybe he does a dance.
He might do a dance. And Shea Wiggum's back. Hair's taller than ever.
And he's
Incredible
like, Ethan
stuff.
Hunt's on the run again.
Yeah, that's right.
He's always on the run.
Yeah.
Stop trying to catch him.
Get over it.
There's a bit where he gets captured. Do you notice that? When they got him in handcuffs?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he wants to be there.
Nice.
What do you feel like?
I think he wants to be there, but I had the thought first.
Did you?
Yep.
Wow. Anyways, this should be, at the very least, very entertaining.
I think so too.
And I'll take that. I'll take a very entertaining movie. And maybe the last one before Jeremy Renner finally takes over.
That's right. Maybe Jeremy Renner's in the thing.
No.
In the Machine. Yeah, he wouldn't be.
I would like to see him back in this series.
Me too.
Though. Yeah.
Me too.
Me too. All right, should we move it along?
Yes.
Great. Just before we Black Mirror, we just had a very interesting off-air conversation, a
Go on.
realization that we both had.
Yes.
That often, when we get stuck into each other, we jest and we joke and we jape.
That's so true.
And if we guest on another podcast or we have someone here, often it'll be like one person and a guest going up against the other person.
That's true. As a joke, you sort of pick a side.
Yeah.
And we go, me and the guest, I'll make fun of James, or the guest will be like, well, Mesa, you're an idiot or whatever.
Yes.
But we've never, you pointed out, we've never collectively just
rinsed somebody together.
That's correct.
Because I think it would be just devastating. I think
so too.
we could like permanently just really destroy somebody.
I think so, and that would be fun for us.
We need to pick this person wisely, and we need to not let them know that it's going
advance,
to happen.
Yeah. But I think anybody who contacts us and asks to be on our podcast in future,
Be aware.
they got to know you might be the one. You might be, we might have, our algorithm might have selected you.
Yeah.
You know?
They might also be like, whatever.
Yeah, true.
You guys suck and your opinion isn't valid. And that would be bad for us.
I'll be like, yeah, James.
What?
I'll switch sides immediately.
Anyway, something to consider for the future, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. Black Mirror Season 7.
That's right.
It's been a couple of years since the last. I came out with 6 episodes. Some longer than others. All roughly an hour. Except for the last one, which is a bit, hour 20?
Yeah, it's feature length.
Well, there you go. We got with 2 of them being sequels of sorts.
That's right.
To previous episodes.
Yes.
You got to get your grubby British one in there that costs $9.
Yep.
You get a couple of them.
You got to get your San Junipero episode in there, where there's
but not as good.
a little bit of love and tenderness.
AI, etc.
Yeah. And you've got to get one where somebody's brain is transferred into a thing. Did we get that into an egg or a sphere or whatever?
We did, yeah.
Great.
There was a lot of that going on in a few of those.
So here's a quick recap of season 6.
Yes.
The spoilery recap. If you can't remember the last
do it.
season.
This is 2023, I want to say.
This is a few years, 20. I don't know. Man, I don't know.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so it was Joan is Awful, which is the one where Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek discovers that the streaming service she subscribes to, Streamberry, which comes back in this, has made a procedurally generated show about her, where she's bad and everyone makes fun of her. And that I enjoyed that one. It was remember ultimately we discover that there's multiple layers of reality.
Yes.
Remember that?
There's shows within shows within shows within shows.
Yeah. And there's like different levels of her in different dimensions.
Oh yeah.
There was Loch Henry. People might have forgotten, but I think this is maybe one of the most disturbing episodes.
I liked Loch Henry.
That's the one where a couple go back to a town where one of them grew up in Scotland, and it turns out there was a series of mysterious murders, serial murders, etc. And it was based partially on a real serial killer couple. Spoiler alert. I liked that one a lot.
And that became like, it was like, true crime documentary and
yeah.
And is it a bit grim?
And it was a little bit further away from like Black Mirror as a concept, but I
Yeah.
guess there was cassette tapes.
Well, it was modern day.
Yeah.
I guess. So it was one of the few ones actually set in the modern
That's
day.
true.
Yeah.
Then there was Beyond the Sea, which is Aaron Paul and
Oh, yeah. Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett. They're astronauts.
Automatons.
They have remote control bodies on Earth while they go into a deep space mission.
Yeah.
And then there's hijinks. There's
There is
fun hijinks, if
so
you recall.
fun. Yeah.
Maisie Day, which was the one about a paparazzi chasing down a celebrity.
And it was a werewolf.
Yeah, it was a werewolf
one.
Yeah, it was a werewolf one. And then there was
Liked that one.
Yeah. Then there was Demon 79, which is the Red Mirror episode, which
Yep.
has nothing to do with
Wait,
technology or anything.
the werewolf one wasn't a Red Mirror one?
No, it was just regular Black Mirror.
What?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's nanotech.
Are there werewolves in Black Mirrors?
I guess there are now.
Just around.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was only the last one, which was...
Well, you can't see werewolves in mirrors, so maybe that has something to do with it.
That's so true, isn't it?
I don't know for what
Yeah.
tie in there.
So Demon 79 is set in the 70s, and it's about a young woman...
I'm thinking of Creature of Black Lagoon. Can't be seen in the mirror. Sorry,
That's
go on.
true. And she unwittingly, she's sort of put upon because she's Indian and everybody's racist.
Yep.
And she unearths a demon who says she has to kill 3 people, one a day for the next 3 days, or the world will end.
Yeah.
How's she gonna do that? Bit of fun.
I like that one.
Anyway, overall, I thought that was a very strong season.
Agreed. Now, how did you feel it? We'll do spoilers. We'll go episode to episode. How do you feel it compared to this season?
I think this season isn't as good.
I think there's 2 that I didn't think were great, but the rest of them I'm like pretty solid. Liked a lot of this.
Yeah.
I liked both of the sequel episodes.
Yep.
Just to very quickly, maybe we'll just go through whether we liked or didn't
Yes, absolutely.
before doing spoilers.
Okay, first episode. It's called Common People.
Yep.
It is Chris O'Dowd and Rashida Jones. They play a couple that are very much in love. They're a working class couple. They're looking for they want to
Whoa, they're a working class couple.
common people.
Common people.
Exactly like the song.
Yeah.
Whoa, working class.
What's common people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to have a kid, but then it turns out that Rashida Jones's character, who's a teacher, she collapses at work. She has a brain,
Yep.
A soon-to-be fatal brain issue, and so they go to an experimental. They go to a corporation that has an experimental surgery where they can take out a part of her brain. They can copy the elements of the brain, take it apart, replace that part of the brain with a receiver, and then stream.
Yeah.
Functional.
And the surgery's free.
Surgery's free.
Yep.
And there's only a little bit of a subscription for the
Yeah,
rest of it.
That's right.
Now, when this... I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, well, this episode was a real gut punch. You know, it was a really hit home, really hit hard.
That's all I've been reading.
And I respect that. But also, I watched this episode quite early before any of those reactions were out. And I'm like, I think this episode is bad.
I thought it was very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And I think also, and I mentioned this off air, we don't have yet, and we probably will, this style of healthcare in terms of like the crippling medical debt that you'll have like in the US.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the reason that it didn't hit home. But it's also on top of that. Should we just do spoilers for all of this?
I think we probably
When
should.
we're in it?
If you really want to watch these and you think we're
It's Black Mirror.
heading into spoiler territory, or I mean, also Black Mirror again.
Do you like Black Mirror? It's Black Mirror.
Generally, yeah, and it's always a mixed bag. Some of these episodes are going to hit for you, some aren't, and it's always different with different people. And yeah, like you can go into this if you go into these with like I'm going to figure out the twist. You're probably not going to enjoy it as much.
No,
I think.
it's not. It's not what it's about.
Yeah,
Some of the time.
So, look, what I liked about this episode, I believed in the couple.
Yes.
I felt like they felt like a really authentic
did,
couple, which I really liked.
She teaches B school.
Oh, yeah. So maybe this is a sequel.
This is sort of a sequel to that
This is
one
a
with
sequel,
bees.
Hated in the Nation with
Yeah.
the killer bees.
Yeah.
Killer robot bees.
Yeah.
So I believed in that. I liked their back and forth, because they felt like they had a lot
Yeah.
of, running jokes and
Yeah.
kind of, stuff like that. But I was like, man, this feels like if you were doing a parody, like a YouTube sketch of like every Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
It felt like they looked around, somebody writing this.
And they got 2 somewhat comedic actors to appear in it.
It's like it felt to me like they looked around the room that they were writing in and went, oh, what if streaming service?
What if?
What if you had to subscribe to something or
To your
you'd
brain.
die? To your brain or you'd die.
And if you don't sign up properly, you start running ads.
That's right.
I didn't. I didn't buy any of that.
Also, there's a
there's a second thing.
There's a second part of this.
There's like a piss drinking app.
There is a streaming service a la
streaming service.
Oh, there's a streaming service a la Twitch or whatever called Dumb Dummies.
Yeah, great.
And if you want money, you go on there and people suggest
for you to either drink your own piss or pull your own teeth.
Yeah,
out.
something.
It's usually that though.
Yeah, it's almost always that. Or insert an object or whatever.
Yeah.
Something demeaning and if you want money, if you're desperate for money. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, obviously these two are gonna.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it really felt like somebody went, oh, and this guy needs a way to have money. What could it be called? Oh, dummies.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
People
man.
are like, I'm paying to see this person drink their own piss
Drink
or
their own
whatever.
piss, yeah.
Which I just also, I don't know. I mean, I guess there is various things you can subscribe to, but I don't know why the first thing you would go to was, I'm going to drink my own piss. You don't have like fundraising apps or,
Right,
you can reach out on Facebook and,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe he did do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he tried all the other different
That's
things.
right. Maybe they closed his GoFundMe and they said, have you considered drinking your own piss? We don't know.
No, we don't. So, like, as a result of that, you see them become more and more disheveled. And that was sad. Like that,
Yeah,
I feel like the idea of paying to keep yourself alive because of medical debt, I think that is true.
Yeah.
But I think the idea of having to stream your thoughts directly into your brain and then you're also running ads and then there's different tiers of how you feel and there's an app where you pay to drink your own piss. It just felt really heavy-handed.
You don't pay to drink your own piss.
I mean, you could.
You get paid.
You could.
I guess you could. Well, that's the future they want, isn't it? You have to pay to drink your own piss. Yeah, I mean, I sort of, as soon as
medical debt is like, it's real and awful.
As soon as they went, oh, you have to stream it into your own head, I'm like,
here we go. Here's
there's going to be tiers. They're going to change the rules of the terms of the agreement, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, like, and again, maybe it's because I was settling into this and I'm like, where is the twist? But I'm like, obviously they're going to suddenly go, well, the price has gone up and you get less features and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, exactly.
But man, this one felt so heavy-handed.
Yeah, I know. And look, I don't want to say like unrealistic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're all unrealistic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know, just like the way it escalated and it seemed like they were the only one in the world even going through this.
Yeah, right.
Like there wasn't like some kind of, I don't know, giant court case or something. Maybe there was.
Maybe
I don't know.
was.
It just felt really
And the
specific
judge said, I dismiss this frivolous lawsuit. Have you considered drinking your own piss?
Go drink your own piss. So guilty. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I didn't find this. And then it was sad. And at the end, he had to smother his fiance with a pillow or whatever, or wife with a pillow. And she was doing
just because
that.
the piss drinking app told him.
And then he was going to cut his own throat on air, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what he was going to do? Because you see him go into the room to go back on Dumb Dummies, and he has a knife.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to knife his computer.
Maybe he's going to
as
knife his
revenge.
computer and be like, now that's satire.
That is satire, isn't it?
And a Black Mirror.
I mean, something I did of note that I thought was interesting, when the agent of the corporation that is offering him this service, she has been the recipient of it as well.
Yeah.
And so she has
all the benefits.
All the benefits. And there's a moment where she denies them their coverage or she can't, let them continue on the service. And so she cranks up her nonchalance or something like that, so she doesn't have to think about, in life. So,
Nice.
Sounds good. Must be nice.
Must be nice, Mason. I mean, that's a metaphor for something as well, isn't it?
So true.
Xanax, etc.
Sure.
So yeah. All in all, not my favorite.
But a lot of people's favorite,
Probably my least favorite.
Right.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
Second
James.
least favorite.
Okay.
Let's talk about Betty Noir.
Okay.
Bete Noir.
I think it's just Bete Noir.
Bete Noir. This is...
So it's a woman who works in a...
this is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
To some degree, isn't it?
It is. It's straight up.
Yeah. So it's about a woman and she works in a food science lab. They're coming up with new snack foods and testing them on people. And then somebody comes in to test one of the snack foods, and it's a woman she used to go to school with, and she was this woman she used to go to school with was a real weirdo, real freak, and everybody made fun of her, and there were all sorts of rumors about her and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she comes in, and everybody seems to like her, and she asks for a job. She gets the job, and then they're working together in the office, and the main character thinks that this woman is, up to something.
But what?
Some weird stuff keeps happening in the office. And what's going on?
What is going on?
Well, it's weird quantum revenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quantum revenge realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically she has, they talk about how she has this amazing ability with computers, and it turns out she's built this supercomputer.
Before we get to that.
Oh, sorry.
So also a bunch of stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a bunch of stuff starts happening where our main character starts to feel quite unhinged.
Yeah.
Right? She'll say, "Oh, I remember this thing from back in the day."
Berenstain Bears situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a little bit. It's kind of it's part of this. I liked the part of this that was kind of like a what do you call it?
That word.
Yes.
The
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Yeah.
Confabulation is what it's actually called. Did you know
Wow.
that? It's real for real.
Wait, is that true, or you just trying to Mandela effect me?
Both.
Great.
Yeah. But anyway, so somebody will say in the office, "Oh, I remember, this place, it was called Bernie's," and she'll be like, "No, it's Barney's," and then it turns out that the thing she absolutely remembered was
Always
true.
knew, yeah.
They Googled and it turns out she was wrong. Or, even though her boyfriend used to work there, that kind of thing. Or like
And she's the only one who remembers the way
what's
it was.
another thing that happens?
She gets accused of drinking almond milk.
Sure.
And it turns
the
out
worst crime you could do in this universe.
Even though she's got a nut allergy, and then it turns out that nut allergies don't exist.
Yeah. And then they're like, we'll check the footage.
Yep.
And she is drinking it.
Yeah.
How's that happening?
Whoa, how'd they do it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this woman built a quantum computer, which means she can, like everything ever all at once, basically skip into any reality.
And she can
where
take someone
anything
with
can
her.
happen. Yeah, and she can take somebody with her. So she's doing this to this person, and she's working her way, it seems, through her childhood bullies, and got to her because she's the one who made up the rumor about her in the first place, which got her the most bullied. So it's a necklace, and she presses it, and
she
says,
says
whatever.
What she wants to be true.
Yeah.
And then they end up in a reality where it is true.
That's right.
Whether it be this place used to be called Bernie's, but now it's Barney's, or,
Whatever.
whatever.
Yeah. And I didn't mind this one. I
Yeah, I
thought
thought,
as a concept, how does the computer work? I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that important?
I don't know. What happens if she goes into a reality where she didn't build the quantum computer?
Well, I guess you can't get out.
I guess that's true.
Don't do that then.
Well, she got shot in the head, so it's not important, is
Well,
it?
that is true. She did, yeah. Apparently, this was originally called Ring of Truth,
Uh-huh.
and it was going to be a ring.
Okay,
But then
sure.
Charlie Brooker was like, that's a bit on the nose.
Okay.
Let's do Betty Noir.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Betty Noir?
It's a
Sorry.
bit on the nose. We want to do fresh original content, like what if you had to subscribe to your brain, otherwise you'd die.
Yes.
And then drink your own piss to pay for it.
That's optional, but you're going to have to.
You're going to want to also.
Yeah, so it ends with she ends up killing her bully
Mm-hmm.
and then taking control of...
Well, the main character ends up killing the weirdo,
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
which is good because she was a weirdo.
She was weird. She deserved it. And then she pretty much jumps to I'm Emperor of the Universe.
Yeah.
Which I guess she'd probably walk back.
You might do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because we learned that the weirdo, she had done all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
She'd-
it's like, I'm bored of this,
Yeah,
yeah.
we see her. She'd become the Emperor of the Universe. She became an astronaut.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I'd imagine this character would do is just kind of have a bit of fun with it and then just go back to her original reality and be like, and this thing doesn't exist. I'd imagine.
But I'm not allergic to almond
But
milk.
I'm not, and I have $1 million.
Yeah, nice.
That's probably what.
Nice.
you'd do.
Humble endings.
Humble endings.
Yeah.
Or she just ends up being Space Emperor of the Universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, could...
I was sort of in this to me. It kind of feels like to me this feels like an American influenced episode.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that nobody was American in it, it's that this woman didn't end up in hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
okay,
I feel like previous seasons, this wouldn't have ended well for the woman.
Or maybe it does. Maybe you do end up in hell because, if you've got infinite choices,
Oh, you go insane.
I think you probably would go insane. You'd end up doing everything, and then you'd just...
You just need $1 million in that almond milk.
I don't know what you'd do.
Simple times.
You'd probably run the gamut of everything and then go insane.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you find,
Podcasting.
I was going to say true joy going down the doggies, betting on the doggies.
Bet on the dogs.
Betting on the greyhounds.
Maybe you will.
Yeah.
And then do your dogs always win?
No.
Yeah, good. That's the true joy.
But if they don't win, you change reality so they do win.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad.
All right, episode 3, Hotel Reverie.
And
Yeah, right?
Like the cast.
Yeah, so it's Issa Rae and Emma Corrin.
Yeah.
Are the two main roles. So, here's the thing. So, the premise of this is
Who would watch this kind of movie, by the way?
no one on earth. Because okay, so the premise basically is
I just wrote this one is hard to care about.
right. So this movie essentially is there's a really old movie.
Yep.
And this studio
It's a Casablanca kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a Casablanca kind of thing. It's black and white, and a studio wants to remake it, but they don't think modern audiences would like it. So their plan is to insert an A-list star in the place of the main character. Everything else will be the same, except for the main character. And the main character it's Issa Rae, so she'd be a woman taking the place of the male
Whoever
main
the
character.
Humphrey
Bogart kind of guy is. But she learns on the day when she comes in, because she doesn't read the info packet that she's been given.
Yeah.
She's a big old movie fan as well. It's not super relevant.
It's relevant.
She goes in expecting they're going to scan her and she's going to say the lines and they're going to insert her in, Star Wars style.
You're basically doing a play with all the original in virtual reality with all the original.
So what's actually happening is she gets her mind put into this virtual simulation.
Yeah.
And then she just has to say the lines
in the movie. And you can't deviate too far because you'll die in there.
Yeah.
Your brain will malfunction at some point.
It's wildly complicated.
Yeah.
This needed a rewrite, man. I don't know. Why would they go this far?
Nobody would watch this.
No.
I mean, you can do this now, technically. You could either just film someone on green screen or just do a face replacement or whatever, depending on what it was. But in this, you have to live through the movie in real time and say the lines.
Exactly as they were in the
and
movie.
They had to be out of there at the end of the 2 hours because someone else was shooting a commercial in there after. So,
but also the initial situation, this actor who's replacing the Humphrey Bogart character, she's, maybe flubbing a line or saying something different or whatever.
Yeah.
And the people in the control booth are like, she's not doing it correctly. Why have you built this?
Yeah,
then? Why
what's
have
the
you built
point?
it? What's the point of this?
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, man. I like the idea of someone going into an old movie world, a fictional world, and then falling in love with a fictional person. I think that's fun as a concept. But I think the way to get her into this world should have been wildly different for some reason. At
least at the end, she could talk to her on a phone.
Yeah. Also, it ends with midway through the Emma Corrin character who develops self-awareness and learns everything about and learns that they are fictional and
who she was in the real world
and all this sort of stuff. That character then gets erased.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Issa Rae's character is just talking to a refreshed version that has none of this knowledge.
And doesn't get the knowledge back either.
It didn't even feel bittersweet. It's
just you just keep going, I
have
guess.
to start again or whatever. It just felt like, all right, well,
I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't with this one.
Conceptually, again, I thought it was good, but I don't. Yeah. There's got to be a different
this was
way.
my least favorite one.
There's got to be a different way to do this. Why would you, the technology's there to replace.
You can do anything with that.
You can do anything.
You can create any environment and just make a virtual movie about literally anything.
Also, it didn't. When you see the final cut of it, you see a trailer for it, and it's just all these old-timey people and then modern-day Issa Rae being like, hey, what's up?
What am I doing here?
What's up?
I can't play the piano, etc.
Yeah, who would watch this?
Nobody
would watch this.
And that's what I felt like. I felt that way about who would watch this episode as I was watching it. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
And it does take I guess
maybe that's the twist, James.
I guess it deviates because they do, as they often do in a Black Mirror, it all goes to shit for a time, and then they get to spend, even though it's only an hour or so in the real world, they get to spend months together, just in this black and white.
Anyway, this is the San Junipero episode.
It is, yeah, but it's less interesting. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just couldn't with this.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there are limited sort of buckets to put Black Mirror episodes in? Are we seeing that? Is that it's kind of
maybe
eventually there's only 10 types of story you can do with the Black Mirror?
I thought Eulogy,
Mr. Beast
style.
style.
About Eulogy, but I thought that one was more.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess we've seen variations on all of it. It's all the same technology where you put a thing on your temple.
And yes. Yeah, you put
Remember
a
they're
button
gonna
on your temple.
Put it up your nose.
Yeah, that's right.
Push it right up your nose.
Put it in a glass of piss.
Put in a glass of piss. Drink the piss. That's $500 that you owe the government.
What?
Well, it's not really the government. It's a
corporation that
yeah,
owns
it's
the
a
government.
corporation.
Yeah.
It's called Banana Plus
Yeah, that's right.
instead of Apple Plus, basically.
Nice.
And that's good.
Yeah. Now, this was for Streamberry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The fictional Netflix.
That's right,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Okay, next episode, Plaything. This is the sequel to Bandersnatch.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of, which is the standalone Choose Your Own Adventure
Yep.
episode of Black Mirror. That
I
they
like
did,
this
they
one a
did
lot.
once and never
I
again.
thought this one was pretty good.
Pretty solid. So
Yeah.
this
This is your classic $9 British episode.
yes.
Really.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the main character in this works as a video game reviewer in the 90s, which is what Charlie Brooker did.
That's true.
That's how he started his
yeah,
career.
real.
so-
They didn't go. Well, this is PC Banana magazine. They went PC Power or whatever, PC World or whatever. It's a real
Oh, was it
magazine.
really?
Yeah,
I
real
didn't know
magazine.
that. Okay, great.
Yeah, so this is
PC Banana Magazine.
yes, instead of PC Apple magazine.
Yeah, it's interesting because they bring back Will Poulter as his character from Bandersnatch,
Yeah,
which
biggest
is also,
star now.
biggest star now, which is good get, which is also that one. If people remember, that's the Choose Your Own Adventure Black Mirror episode.
Yes.
and they never went back to that, and I'm glad they didn't. I think they did everything they could possibly do.
Yeah.
With that, but also it's interesting that his game company and that from Bandersnatch, they also made Striking Vipers, which was also
Oh,
an
what if you
episode.
kissed your bro in a video game?
What
Is
if
it
you kissed
gay?
your bro? Yeah. That's
Yes,
fine.
it's
No,
fine.
it's
No,
fine.
no.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Kiss your bro in a video game.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so in this episode, it's the near future.
Yep.
In that they say they passed a bill in 2029. I'm like, whoa, the far future.
hang
And
on,
I'm
what?
like, oh wait, that's not far at all.
No.
In the future. So it's set in the near future.
It's 15 years from now.
It's something of a dystopian.
The government has a computer that looks at you
The government does have
and has all your DNA.
got all your DNA and it looks right at you.
Tell you where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Peter Capaldi plays a man who he gets arrested for just breaking
Whatever.
some petty thievery.
Yeah.
And they bring him in to interview him because they've learned through their DNA and looking at your machine that he might have had something to do with a murder that happened years ago.
Yeah.
And then we do a flashback to when he was a games journalist. He was a
PC Banana.
little bit socially awkward, and he worked for PC Banana magazine review. And he was tasked with reviewing reviewing an upcoming game by Will Poulter,
Yep.
video game developer.
He looks like he was really slumping his shoulders.
Yeah,
He was like trying to make himself look like he's not enormous now.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's got those Adam Warlock muscles.
He does exactly.
But this game called Thronglets is
kind of a Lemmings-esque.
yeah,
It's not
I
really.
guess so. Yeah, it's sort of it's not about killing and murders. It's about it's video game life.
Yeah.
It's life within and it's going to evolve in ways that not even anybody could ever
We don't know.
imagine. Yeah, and so
Well, that's what the Peter Capaldi character is saying in his interview for the murder that he probably did.
that's true.
So he's explaining his backstory and how he
Yeah,
got there. And
yeah.
he's always like, I didn't used to be social, this is social, but now I am.
Now it's
Because I
cool.
drilled into my brain.
That's right.
Or maybe he'd already worked on his social before that.
Maybe.
Well, but anyway, sorry. Continue.
But then it turns out
Yep.
they've over the years, over the decades, he's kept giving them more and more computing power, and they've achieved sentience.
Yep.
And they're going to take over the world.
Or it seems that
nice
way
way.
because he's been taking acid and talking
Well,
to his
we also
computer
don't know. We also, I guess that's
Yeah.
true. Well, I guess
to a point.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, no, this is real.
Well, see, I guess that's the point. I wonder, like, I at no point did I ever doubt that he was telling the truth, and
No,
that
I didn't feel that way.
these
Yeah.
computer-created beings were real. I never was like, well, obviously he's just an insane man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's both.
Well, he's both, yeah. I never get there. I don't know if the goal was to be like, do we think this guy is on the level or whatever. I think, but I never doubted that. For a
Yeah.
moment. And at the end, he writes a QR code.
Yep.
And the machine that looks at everything looks at it, and then it
Shuts down everybody's brains.
and maybe everybody's going to be cool after
Makes
that.
one big utopian society.
Or the world's
potentially.
end. Maybe
Or
he's
the
just
world
killed
ends.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Because it ends with him helping one of the police officers up. But we don't really know what that looks like.
That's right. Maybe he's going to cluck like a chicken.
Maybe he will. And that's all right. Yeah, no, I like this one. I thought Peter Capaldi was fantastic. I thought he really drove this.
Is this his? I don't think it's his first. Is
Black
he in another
Mirror?
Black Mirror? I think he's in another Black Mirror.
Is he?
I think so.
Let me check.
Yeah, check. Yeah, check.
You might be thinking of Doctor Who.
I am thinking of Doctor Who because he's in Doctor Who, but he's Doctor Who, but he was also in Torchwood.
Oh, yeah, he was Torchwood.
He was Torchwood. Tommy Torchwood from In the Neighbourhood.
I can't see.
Well, Peter Capaldi.
Let me look at his IMDb.
Yeah, look at it.
Doodle-doo. It was Doctor Who.
That's true.
I just see Doctor Who might be taking a break or something.
I didn't.
Well, it might
But
be.
isn't season 2 just out?
Yeah, but they might have to pause it for various reasons. Here we go. All right, Black Mirror. Yeah, he only did this one.
Okay, never mind then.
Because he's so British. Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Big Mouth, the
I'm
TV
thinking
show
of
Big
the
Mouth.
guy, The Thick of It. I'm thinking of his character in The Thick of It.
Yes. He was also in The Suicide Squad.
Oh, yes.
He was Dr. Brainiac.
It was
or
Dr.
something.
Brainiac. It's true.
Cool. Yep, liked it. Cool. Ominous. Weird.
Yep.
90s computer stuff, which I like.
What a treat.
They said Pentium processor at one point. I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh, that's right.
This is my jam.
Yeah,
There's a
nice.
murder too. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Did you know Bandersnatch is a real game?
Is it?
Yeah.
It was or it is now?
No, it was.
At the time?
Yes.
What was it?
No, it wasn't as good. It's just an RPG or whatever.
Oh, so it wasn't, he didn't pick that name specifically because it was that game? Or he did? He picked the name and then there happened to be a computer game that was called Bandersnatch.
No, I think he did it on purpose.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know,
'Cause
right?
He worked for PC Banana Magazine.
He worked
or
for
whatever.
PC Banana Magazine.
Great. Next one is Eulogy. This one I really liked.
Uh-huh.
This one had Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, that's
Felt
right.
very British, even though it wasn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically, he's at home.
He's a miserable old man.
Miserable old
living
bastard
alone.
sitting alone.
Unless he's got a bunch of bodies in the basement.
Yeah,
we don't know.
he
We
might.
don't
He
know.
probably does. That could be the sequel. Anyway, he gets a phone call, and by that I mean
Space phone call. Computer phone call through a chip on his
Then it
head.
goes, "Hello, welcome
put
to
Put a disc on your head.
welcome to Black Mirror world. You're about to have a Black Mirror time." And he's like, "Oh fuck, I don't have time for this.
That's right.
Make time. Clear your calendar."
Clear your calendar. It's Black Mirror time, all right? You're in a universe where everybody has to have some Black Mirror time.
That's right.
It's either this or we put your soul into an egg. And you're in there for eternity, all right? Or you
Yeah.
can just suffer through this for a couple of days. It's your call, buddy. You want this or you want the egg, bucko?
It's something to think about, though,
Isn't
isn't
it,
it?
though? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he's got in contact by an AI entity who tells him that a woman that he used to be madly in love with and they dated for a time has died, and they basically need some memories of her for her eulogy for a family. And they're like, well, you knew her in an era where we don't really know much about her.
You weren't on internet.
Yeah, could you go back into your memories and brain and we'll take you through them?
Could you get in this virtual car and go down the information superhighway?
Yeah.
And then we'll get those memories. And he only has a few
photos.
photos. And
Can't remember what she looks like.
yeah, but he can enter. They can use the lifesaver on the side of his head.
Yeah.
To walk into the photos and look around, and he converses with the AI woman.
And he goes, I remember this.
Exactly, and he does remember.
Yeah, and he's like, this woman's a bitch.
Well, see
she broke my heart.
What I liked about this one is that
Yeah.
it was about memories, and it was about the idea of when
Perception.
Perception,
Yeah.
and when you break up with someone, and it's always like, well, this woman was crazy
me.
or whatever. No, you're right on, brother.
Thank you.
Or like the idea of like, well, obvious from my perspective, this person was at fault or what
Yeah.
have you, and then in the cold light of day, in the
yeah.
retelling, they go, oh, actually no, this was at least half my fault and probably more.
Probably more. Yeah, it's interesting how like the way that he looks back and you paint yourself as the victim, or like also you don't even have all of the information because it's often more. It's people I think in general aren't malicious. I guess, and I think this everybody's got their own shit going on.
And sometimes you miss a really obvious letter that somebody left for you on your hotel
That
room
explains
floor,
everything.
and it's right there, and it had your name on it and everything, and you're like, don't worry about it.
I don't want that.
Yeah, but luckily I kept it somehow.
He kept it somehow, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was terrific. I found this like really affecting as well. I thought Paul Giamatti like played it beautifully. I think the idea. So it turns out that the AI entity is actually a copy of the woman's daughter.
Yeah, and they send it in advance.
Yeah.
So that
She doesn't have to. For
Yeah,
one.
so the AI can get traumatized by
Yeah.
any uncomfortable information.
Yes. And she's putting him through the bloody ringer, I'll tell you that
She
much.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I just enjoyed that like slow kind of realization of not only kind of what he missed out on, but also that how he treated her. Because there's a moment where like, oh, we started a band and she loved cello. It was like her main thing. And he made her play keyboards in her band.
Yeah, because he was like, cello wouldn't work. But it's like, probably would have.
Yeah, he could have made it work, but it was...
Ever heard of Evanescence?
Yeah, man.
Which might have a cello in it.
It was the grunge era.
Yeah.
You know?
Ever heard of that other one that's like Evanescence? Probably had a cello in it.
Probably had a cello in it.
What's that one called? Doesn't matter.
Living End.
Might have been the Living End.
Yeah. So no, I just thought this was and eventually, obviously, he gets his perception of her changed because he finds out that the reason that she couldn't marry him or couldn't answer that was because she was pregnant, and it was this whole thing that kind of got wrapped together, and there was infidelity and all of that. I don't know. I just thought it was very good. Yeah, and maybe we can all look at our memories one day and be like, "Fuck, I dropped that letter."
That's right.
Wait, somebody put it in a book.
So that's fine, and now I've got it.
Now I can look at it.
Yeah.
Big fan. Like this one a lot. Yeah. I think that was one of the stronger ones.
You can't deny this is not a good cast in this.
Oh my God.
Stacked cast, I would say. Not necessarily in the greatest of episodes, in my opinion, but good cast.
And we got the one left, Mason.
The USS Callister into infinity using the Star Trek Into Darkness font. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, my God, I didn't notice that, but that's fantastic.
Yeah. One of the worst ones.
Yeah.
So this is a sequel to the original USS Callister, set in a world in which the creator of a big online game, space exploration game, he felt he was always hard done by and bullied and etc. But luckily, he had a cloning machine that put where he could take somebody's DNA and then turn them into a digital clone in this world.
It's cool.
And then they would be turned into his crew on his ship, where he would be mean.
Just make fun of them and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Turn their face off.
Yeah, absolutely turn their face off. But in this, at the end of that episode, the digital clones of these people gained their freedom.
Yeah.
He died.
They escape into Star Citizen.
That's right. A game that will never be finished.
That's right. And then you think at the end of that one, they're free to explore this infinite galaxy. And which means also they'd be conversing with real players in the real world.
Yeah.
But of course, the problem with that is they have limited resources and no gamer tag, so they're this anomaly in this universe.
And there's too many microtransactions.
And they can't. They shouldn't be allowed to exist there. So there's the risk that if they get discovered, they will be deleted.
And if they die in the game, they die for real
because they don't exist.
Everybody else respawns, but they don't.
And we lost one of the crew members because presumably they couldn't afford to get her back, or there were scheduling conflicts. It was she's from.
There is a line about how she died. Yeah. Meryl Streep.
Yeah, it's Meryl Streep.
That's what I thought. Oh, Ensign Meryl Streep.
It's Krista Milotti. No, it's not. She's in this.
She's in
big time.
She's in this big time. Oh yeah, because there's a throwaway line in this one about how she died. I think. Yeah, Michaela Cole.
There we go. Yeah. So
I also forgot that Jimmy Simpson was in.
Oh really?
This because he was one of the original victims of the cloning technology.
Yeah.
He was the co-founder of the company.
Yep.
With this big huge nerd.
And we see all of that in here as well, which I thought was really interesting. I think. What was interesting about this is because often in this, they bring back Jesse Plemons' character because it turns out that Jimmy Simpson made a clone of him and put him in the center of the game, and he spends all of his time creating different worlds for this universe.
You think they're sort of procedurally generated random worlds, but he's been creating them in this universe.
And he's also, because he's obviously dead in the real world, so this is the only way that he exists. And seemingly he's like a nicer guy. And what I thought what was interesting about this is...
He's not.
Well, I guess.
He's
an early version of...
Yeah, he's an early version of this guy. He is the version of he was before he became kind of bitter and
bullied.
And money and bullying all sort of turned him into this twisted...
Yeah, but it's
thing.
still kind of in there.
The core of him is still there, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought what was interesting about like Jimmy Simpson's character is that he's way worse on the outside than he is on the inside. Because he's the version of him on the inside has experienced things that the other one hasn't, and through that has learned empathy at the very least.
Right,
And also he was abandoned on an alien world for for the longest time in this. You find that out.
Billy Joel style,
that's right. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting that depending where your save point is, I guess, or where you're cloned, and your experiences, you just become a completely... Like, Krista Milotti's character they're completely different people because one of them's been scrambling to survive in a space simulation, and the other one's just going to work.
Yeah, right.
And I loved all
Which
of
is
that.
pretty tough. I don't know if you've ever had
That's
a
also
real
tough.
job, James.
No, I haven't. But that's that I found really interesting.
Yeah.
And all the kind of space, they kind of lean back on the sci-fi elements in terms of like, in the first one it was
Very old school Star Trek.
yeah,
the
there was that,
original
and
series.
there is like space battles in this, but it's less.
More Wing Commander.
Yeah, it is a bit actually. It's more kind of. I know.
Star Citizen.
Yeah. They kind of call it more like Star Warsy than the last one, which I guess is true.
And it's sort of there's a lot of kind of the game clearly now is some sort of like PvP kind of thing, and everybody's got custom characters that are all super weird and interesting.
And they put that thing on the side of their head and they go into a game.
Oh hell yeah! They put the lifesaver there.
Yeah. Boop boop boop. But the other thing, I guess, the other element of this, which was interesting, is that on the outside, Kristen Milotti's character becomes brain dead. And so this ends with Jesse Plemons' character, who she kills again.
Yes.
The virtual one. She's able to jump from her body in the virtual world to put her consciousness into herself, into the brain dead version of herself. And I guess her brain comes back alive through various technologies.
They merged. But also the remainder of the crew are also in her head.
Yes.
That's fun.
It's kind of, they get inside outed.
Yeah.
So they're watching her in her brain, seemingly trapped in there, unless there's a sequel to this. But who knows, maybe there will be. And so they're all in there, and they have to call her on a phone to talk to her, and they're all watching TV together or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it also.
Yeah. Just a fun one, I think.
That's a fun
Just
one.
a bit of a fun one to end on. Yeah. So all in all, what would you say in terms of Black Mirror? How would you rank these? Let's go.
This was definitely a Black Mirror.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you mean rank? Like in terms of?
Well, you said you thought the last season was stronger.
I think the last season.
I don't know.
was
I think there's some really. I think those two that I didn't like. Yeah, they're not great, but I think everything else was pretty strong.
I mean, I'm a big Black Mirror apologist.
4 out of 6, pretty good.
Let me see if I like 4 out of 6. Common people didn't like it. Bit pretty fun. Virtual Reverie, plaything. Yeah, it was 4 out of 6. So it's a 2 out of 3.
That's a 2 out of 3, mate.
It's 2 out of 3.
What's that as a percentage?
2 out of 3 ain't bad. I know it ain't bad. As a percentage, that ain't bad.
That's not bad. You could look at it that way.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Did the last season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, last season had 5.
Correct.
So this had, and season 5 had 3.
That's right.
So they pumped 6 out, and isn't that good enough for you, Mason?
I agree.
Yeah, great. Season 5 was 2019, and then Series 6 was 2023. So there's a bit of a gap there. So I think Charlie Brooker took a pause for a bit because it was like everything's already awful.
Yeah.
But now he's back.
That's right.
And sometimes they're uplifting.
Sometimes you put a lifesaver on the side of your head.
You go into a virtual world and you drink your own piss.
Do Americans have lifesavers?
Probably.
Yeah. The British have polo mints.
You put an Oreo.
That's what I've been talking about.
Put an Oreo.
Put an Oreo on the side of your head, yeah.
Put a big one.
Big one.
All right, should we move to the next segment?
Yes.
But what the hell could it be?
It's what we read and what we're going to read. It's the same every week.
It's never changed.
Never changed.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? This is a fantastic segment of the show.
That's right.
So we talk about what we've been seeing, watching, doing, listening, running about.
Are you saying that because we've been sponsored by Fantastic Four First Steps and we're getting
true.
a lot of money?
No, Fantastic Furniture.
Oh, whoa, fantastic.
And it is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
And we're
Just
not
like
just
this
saying
segment.
Yeah, we're not saying it because we're sponsored, which we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting 5% off.
Wow, that's great,
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
right.
Because, yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I read the latest issue of Absolute Batman where they introduced Mr. Freeze.
Oh,
I've
what's
been
his
enjoying
twist?
It's a Freeze guy.
Nice.
It's different.
Yeah, okay,
It's a bit
sure.
different.
Okay,
I
that is a
mind
bit
it.
different.
I don't know if I'm sold on Mr. Freeze isn't one of these, but all these villains are people he grew up with. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
know if I love that. Everything else I really like, that I don't love.
Yeah. Is that a trope from something? No, because it leans more towards, I don't know, just the idea that whenever, a show or a comic book or whatever is like, it's your destiny. It's they can just be random guys.
Yeah, but they're
That's
not.
true, yeah.
Anyway, the rest, I like how big he is. I like how his chest is an
Okay.
axe and he punted that baby or whatever.
I did see him punt that baby. I'm not caught up on Absolute Batman, but I am caught up on Absolute Superman.
I'm one behind on that, yeah.
Okay. I think it's good, man.
It's great, yeah.
It's good. I love his mix of kind of tech and
Yeah.
Kryptonian powers. I love that he had a full youth on Krypton
Yeah.
with his birth parents.
Makes him a little more alien, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And a little more kind of empathetic towards like certain plights because he was kind of a second-class citizen.
Yeah, right.
Like where he came from. And the House of Our symbol is not that. It's a
the Labour
it's a
class
status symbol, which I thought was really
low
interesting.
status symbol.
That's what I'm saying. It's a low status symbol.
Yeah.
Yes. I heard Wonder Woman's really good as well, and I haven't
I'm not up to date with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I tell you what I am up to date with.
Oh, yeah.
I read the first 4 issues of. There's a new Batman series called Batman Dark Patterns.
Yeah,
And
I've got the
it's-
first one and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it's great. It's going to be self-contained Batman stories set. The first arc is 3 issues, and it's set when he's in his 3rd year of being Batman. So,
Batman Year 3.
That's exactly right. And it's sort of mystery and kind of low-level, street-level crime.
Does he have a
stuff.
computer in his cowl that can reverse a crime? And
No.
and then he knows who did it?
He doesn't. He has to ask around.
What?
Yeah, he has to go to.
How does he even do
He
anything?
drives around, swings
He's
around.
antisocial as well.
That's true, actually.
He's got
yeah.
terrible interpersonal
Yeah, but
skills.
he's not fist fighting with Darkseid or
Yeah.
fighting a robot that his alternate personality invented.
Yet.
You know, not yet.
Yeah.
He will. But I think it's good.
Superman in it? Or is there any hints towards like any kind of
No, it's just Batman.
otherworldly characters? Okay then.
Yeah, pretty
Great.
good. Pretty good. Oh, and I finally started watching Slow Horses.
And
It's good. Why didn't you tell me about it earlier?
I haven't seen it.
I thought you had.
No.
Huh. Why didn't anybody tell me about it earlier?
Yeah, good question.
They did.
Why
Everybody
didn't anybody tell you?
did. But it's good. And now there's like at least 4 seasons
Yeah.
that I can just get into, which is really good.
I've been watching The Pit. I'll come back to that another week. But I did watch The Man in the Iron Mask from 1998. You ever seen that?
Is that the one
With Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeremy
Jeremy
Irons,
Irons? I must have seen it,
Gerard
yeah.
Depardieu, crook bloke, Gabriel Byrne, John Malkovich.
Now, did you watch this simply for your own enjoyment?
Yeah, I remember
James?
I loved that movie when I was a kid. And I'm like, fuck it. It's on Stan.
Wow.
I'm going to watch The Man in the Iron Mask from the writer of Braveheart. And I did.
And?
Yeah, it's way worse than I remember it, but it's a swashbuckling good time,
Did we
Mason.
recently watch The Count of Monte Cristo for some reason? just-
No, I do love that movie though. The Jim Caviezel one.
Yeah.
He's a crook bloke.
He is, it's true.
But that movie is incredible.
That's great.
And it's got Henry Cavill and Guy Pearce in it and others. Yeah, there's just like nobody's using any accents.
Yeah,
even
right.
Because it's for those people who don't know, the Man in the Iron Mask. It's a guy. It's whatever. I forget all. It's 3 Musketeers, but they're
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
And there also was a 3 Musketeer movie in the 90s, so you could kind of call it a sequel to that if you wanted
Yeah,
to,
I
I
do.
guess. And he does. And like John Malkovich is in it. He's just doing an American accent. Who's the guy who plays his son in it? He's from like Garden State. He's Hector Hammond in Green Lantern.
Oh,
I feel like his name's Alex something. Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
And because he's very Malkovich kind of coded.
Yeah, right.
So those two as father and son is really interesting. There's dual Leonardo DiCaprio's because one is the Man in the Iron Mask.
That's right.
No, again, no accents, but like John Malkovich, he's just fucking going for it. He's so good in it.
Yeah.
Like just going above and beyond this material, which, yeah, sure is not great. But I was like, God, this is a great movie. Not really, but boy,
That's
is
what
it, boy, am I
movies
having
used
a
to
good
be.
time.
That's what movies used to be. Just people putting on a funny outfit and maybe an accent and holding a sword.
Yep.
And you'd be entertained for the afternoon and you weren't like, this doesn't need any discourse.
Yeah. Like Gabriel Byrne is like an aging D'Artagnan. Well, again, they're all aging. Oh, God, it's just fucking something else.
Love
You would
watching an
never
old
see it
movie.
now. And it's all basically done for real because you just have to.
You
Because
just
it's
had
just
to.
of the era, you know? Yeah. All in all, 10 out of 10.
Nice.
And the pit's pretty good. I'll come back to another week.
Okay. It's no Man in the Iron Mask though, is it?
No, if I had to pick one of them to watch again, it would be The Man in the Iron Mask. No, the pit is very good. It's like Scrubs, but no jokes.
So Scrubs.
Whoa! Fucking got Bill Lawrence.
Actually, Scrubs had a lot of jokes in it.
It was wall to wall, Mason.
Wall-to-wall jokes and gags.
A lot of those jokes were now, you love your best friend and you're gay.
sure.
There's a lot of that in it, but
That's
the rest
true,
of it
yeah.
I feel like holds up outside of that.
Yeah.
Should we do the letters
Let's
segment?
do the letters segment, and I'll start that with the letters theme.
And I'll listen intently.
The classic one was letters, oh letters.
Am I listening?
Yes.
Great.
Oh, you need to change the pop filters.
I did. Thanks for noticing. It's been 3 years.
Down to here right now, we're going to do letters.
No, it's been 2 weeks.
Because normally I would rest it gently against that.
Yeah.
Like the flat screen
These are
one.
better.
And you changed it. Yeah.
These are better.
I mean, allegedly.
Mason, if you do want to reach the show, get off Twitter. We don't do that anymore.
That's
It's
right.
a horrible nightmare site
Yucko.
filled with bots and Nazis. And you might be like, wow, triggered much. I am. I'm very sensitive.
That's
and
right.
it upsets
Cry
me.
much? Yes, we do.
All the time.
All the time, constantly.
But you can get on the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group.
That's right.
There's a thread there every week. Or you can simply shoot Mason a Gmail at weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
Don't shoot Mason.
Please don't.
That's a crime.
And don't shoot the messenger Mason, which is the people sending you the Gmails.
No, you can shoot them. It's fine.
You can do it, is what you're saying.
I can do it.
All right, then you're allowed to.
Here's an email from Omar.
Omar.
From Mombasa Island in Kenya.
Oh, hello. I've been to Kenya. What's going
I'm
on?
a trucker, and your rants and tangents have entertained me on long journeys for almost a decade now. Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys, do you think the MCU is going to be back thanks to the next 2 Avengers movies in terms of box office and just in the general pop culture zeitgeist? Personally, I don't think so.
No, never again. I think it will do well, but no, I don't think they'll ever reach that peak ever again.
Yeah. He says, I think the next 2 Avengers movies, no matter how entertaining they turn out to be, are going to be relying heavily on nostalgia. Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
They're going to dig so deep for nostalgia.
And they're also doing, it's a starting story, which I think is a really bizarre jumping off point. Because what have we been doing?
It's true, yeah.
Like leading up to this.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if you've seen this, but...
I've seen it.
You haven't.
Tell me what it is first.
Okay. In the Marvel Comics currently, they're doing the Ultimates, which is the new version of the new Ultimate Universe.
I've seen it.
You've seen that, but they're also doing One World Under Doom, in which Doom unites the world under a united Latveria kind of thing.
Cool.
And it's just sort of Secret Wars again.
Yeah, because that's what Secret Wars is.
Yeah, but it's
sort
an odd thing to do, I think.
to Doom.
It
Do you
is
think
an
they're
odd
doing it because it ties into
dooming
this?
it.
Do you think they're dooming it because it ties into this?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, One World Under Doom. I think it's just getting people
Yeah,
familiar
because they can't just
with
reprint
characters.
Secret Wars, I guess.
Well, they can, and they
But they
have, and
don't.
they do, and they will.
No,
they
they
haven't?
I read this the other day that maybe the reason that manga has overtaken American comic books, it's wildly popular, is because you can just if you heard One Piece was good, you can just go into a store and volume 1 of One Piece will be right
It'll
there
always be
from
there.
1980, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, you can buy volume 2 and volume 3, blah, blah, blah. But you can't do that with American comic books. You can't be like, oh, I've heard Iron Man's good, I'll find the first. You just can't do it.
That's a very good
It's
point.
just random storylines.
It is. It's like random compilations of.
And it's just been they just get constantly rebooted
Yeah.
and like here's this is actually a whole new era for Iron Man because he lost all his money and he had to build a new Iron Man suit.
Well,
Wow, you've done it again.
this old environment's man suit, he turned evil, and then it's a young version of him time traveled from the past and came and then killed him, and then he took over.
But
and
now he's back and he's lost all his money, so
He
he has
lost
to,
all his
buy,
money,
has,
had to
has
build
to
a new
start
Iron Man
again and build
suit.
an Iron Man suit.
and he's an alcoholic, but he's not now.
He's fine now.
He's fine now.
But he's looking at that bottle, isn't he?
That's a new era of Iron Man. He's looking at that bottle. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think also the difference between like One Piece and fucking Marvel and DC is One Piece it's not intertwined with like 1,000 other characters
that's
who have
true,
their
yeah.
own stories
I
running
guess
at the same
that
time.
is, like a lot of. There's probably a lot of Marvel storylines where they can't just go, oh, we'll do this Captain America.
Yeah. No,
story.
he's dead.
He's dead, and also there's all these other minor characters we tried to introduce.
Can't do
in the
Captain
90s.
America. He's looking at that bottle. He's thinking about drinking that bottle.
That's right.
And building an Iron Man
Well, it's
suit.
a bottle of milk. He's allowed. I think we might be back for Thunderbolts, though. Thunderbolts
Well,
is looking good, man.
I mean, when you say back,
Not financially.
Yeah.
But I think quality-wise.
yeah, well, the screening's apparently good, and this is the one I've been most interested in this year. This is the one I am looking forward to. It
And
looks
they're
fun.
actually doing some stunts for real. I don't know if you saw that clip, Florence Pugh
yeah,
jumping
she
off a
jumped
building.
off a thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting paid to do it, so don't come at me with how
Florence
you're getting paid
Pugh.
to do a goddamn job.
Okay.
You know?
Who are you talking to, me or Florence Pugh? Okay.
I'm lost.
You are.
Yeah. Mason, I need you to walk me to my room after this.
Okay.
I got one here from Luke Perlberg, who says, what do you reckon Warner Brothers and DC will do in the unfortunate and unlikely event that Superman isn't great / doesn't do well? I mean, they'll have to get out Supergirl and Peacemaker because those are happening regardless.
Yeah.
I think they're going to defer to the Minecraft movie and the Barbie movie.
Absolutely.
Recognized IP. I think they'll get Christopher Nolan back to do whatever.
Minecraft sequel.
Minecraft maybe. And then they're just going to make Batman movies again and again forever. And that will be the plan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
All great points. We didn't mention this up top, but apparently this David Zaslav's
He got a big
salary
pay
this
rise.
this year is $52 million or
Hell
something.
yeah, well earned.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I think it will be Minecraft sequels.
You could forego that. You could forego
Yeah, I guess, but why would you if you've got billionaire's disease?
Yeah.
What Do you think video game adaptations are the new superhero movies?
I think it's IP. I don't
Yeah.
think you should look at Minecraft and learn anything.
No.
But other than that, I think it's recognizable IP that can be packaged in a format that people will find palatable.
I wonder if the sequel, the inevitable sequel, will do these numbers, or do you think people will be like, we did the meme thing last time.
Yeah.
We're tired of doing the meme thing. Also because the thing about the video game, well, the thing about superhero universes is you've got the big two,
Yeah.
and then if the first movie works, then they just apply the same formula that they learned
Sure.
for all the next one and the next one and the next one. But there's no two big silos for video game movies.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go, I guess maybe Sony,
Yeah.
but like the people that made the Minecraft movie can't immediately go, well, what else do we have
Yeah.
that we can apply this?
I mean, I
And-
guess
and
they've
other-
got Minecraft dungeons and other...
Yeah.
Like, there are different things within Minecraft you
Yeah.
could do. Like, the Lego movie is not just a Lego movie. They did Ninjago,
Yeah.
they did Batman and whatever, yeah.
I mean, our options would include Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
I think Grand Theft Auto would work. Some people suggested the Red Dead Redemption series,
Sure.
but that's just a
just a
cowboy.
Western.
Just a Western, right?
I mean, I guess you got different coats.
Yeah.
I
And maybe
know-
you get a guy going, well, Arthur, and then everybody in the cinema goes, yes!
Yes.
He said it.
And everyone you just reach over and you cut the throat of the person in front of you.
That's right.
And that's Red Dead
That's right.
Redemption.
I
think-
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft, I think they've said they're not going to do it, but probably Fortnite. I mean,
Yeah.
And they'll get Ninja, and he'll be like, remember me? And we'll be like, not really.
Yeah, good.
I know that's a mean thing to say about Ninja, but he's not going to hear this.
You say that like I know anything about Ninja. Is that a mean thing to say about Ninja? I don't know.
Yeah, well, some people, they're hot and they pop off.
They're hot and they pop off. That's
And
so
then-
true.
but some people
They've
just-
got that zip zap
They
zoom.
do. And some people just say middling podcasters, which is a very safe place to be.
That's right.
Not really.
Can't lose.
What's next, Mason?
Here's an email from Kyle.
Kyle?
Payback sequel. So
Oh, yeah.
it might be of interest to Meso that a sequel to Payback is in the can and has received an R rating. It's by Shane Black and based on the Play Dirty novel. So last week,
What?
or a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned. Well, James, don't Google it yet. I have all the
Okay.
information for you, and you're going to love it.
Okay, fine. Can I Google something else?
No, don't Google anything ever again.
Okay.
Last week, I mentioned that I would have loved to have seen a sequel to the Mel Gibson movie Payback.
And I
based
said there
on the-
was Jason Statham movie.
That's right. The Richard Stark series of novels. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a bunch to draw on about a character called Parker, and of course there is a Jason Statham movie called Parker. It's not very
Agreed.
good. But Kyle says, I'm a huge fan of the Parker Richard Stark novel, so I was excited to hear that it was in the works a few years ago when it was going to be Shane Black and Robert Downey Jr. and possibly a franchise.
Ooh.
RDJ wouldn't have been my first choice for the role, but I was excited to hear about more adaptations down of the works. RDJ stepped down at some point, and now it's going to be Mark Wahlberg.
Fuck.
Right?
And they filmed this,
apparently it's in the works.
but they filmed
It
it in the
doesn't-
can.
I don't know. It says in the can. That's true.
Hang on. Now can I Google it?
Yes, you can
See if
Google
you
it.
don't have all the information.
That's true. I don't have any of the information. That was a trap.
Play dirty. Yeah.
What's the last thing? He was in Spencer. Do you remember Spencer Confidential?
I don't fucking
He
watch
fights
Spencer.
Post Malone in a prison. Do you remember that?
I haven't seen that or don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You can't have Spencer and Parker.
I agree.
You can't have Spencer for hire and also Parker sometimes for hire.
Black is the co-writer based on the...
Does it say in the can? In the can status? Tick?
No, it
Cross.
doesn't.
Mm.
It just says, in August 2024, it was revealed that the film would be based on the Parker novel The Hunter, marking it the third book.
Mm.
I mean, I guess if you wanted someone in the spirit of Mel Gibson, you would get Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. I guess you would.
I don't know. I don't know about this. Maybe it is. Maybe they have filmed it. I don't know. I got one here, Mason.
Go
Good
on.
email, though.
I
Koi
think so.
Wolf says, cinemas are playing with the ideas to make going to the movies better. What would you say should be done by cinemas to bring in large crowds and include more moviegoers? It's not... It's too expensive.
Yep, sure.
Um,
And like we've mentioned before, in America they have that AMC A-list or whatever where you can...
Yeah.
If you pay a fixed fee for a month and you get as many movies as you want. We don't have that in
no.
Australia.
And also, like, everything is available all the time at once at home.
Mm-hmm.
Movies that come out and don't do big numbers, 3 weeks later they will be on streaming.
Yeah.
Or you can torrent them, whatever your proclivity happens to be.
This to me feels like a supply side problem.
Yeah.
The movie studios need to commit to, we will keep it in cinemas for a month.
Yeah.
Minimum. A month's not enough, I don't think.
I think this,
Let some word of mouth spread,
you can't stop this because
Oh, I
this
can
is the
stop
era
it.
that we live in. There's just too much. And there's too much going on, and people are busy and tired, and they can just put on Netflix and watch The Man in the Iron Mask. That's on Stan.
Red Notice.
Yeah, they can watch Red Notice again and again. So I don't know. I think it's not one thing, but I think cost. And like, I don't know. The cinemas, it's not always a great experience.
Sure.
You know?
Uh-huh.
And you got to take time out of your day to go and sit through something. And if you're going to do that, you want it to be good. Otherwise, it's like, I could have put this on at home and watched 10 minutes of it and gone for a walk.
I could have imagined my own version of Madam Web.
Exactly. Where it's worse.
It's worse. But it's my kind of worse.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I don't know. Yeah, just cheaper, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Cheaper and longer. Yeah, like you said, longer in cinemas. Yeah. I think also like there's this idea that the only movies that are worth seeing are kind of tentpole big experiences. You know, like even Minecraft, which sucks. It's
Yeah, you
like
said it was the best movie ever.
I did. I stand by that. Is that, and you know, like Barbie or Oppenheimer or whatever. It's like you only go to like the things that are culturally significant, which is a shame because there's just good movies.
Yeah,
that don't. I don't know. Have people throwing fucking popcorn.
And the moment for it being culturally significant is often really short.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the drop-off of Minecraft has not been significant. Like,
No.
it's still doing quite well. But is it going to be there in 3 weeks? Or is everybody
Maybe.
going to be like, well, that's over now?
I mean, it's also like, you know, kids keep going again and again.
That's
and
so true.
whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah, but also like, I don't know. How do you normalize like just a regular cinema going experience and seeing a good movie? Like Black Bag.
Yep. It's a good movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Sinners will also be a good movie next
I hope
week.
so. Well, it's supposed to be very good. Yeah.
Got a couple more emails. This is from Nick from Michigan.
I'll hear him out.
With a lot of superhero movies coming out being a resounding meh and requiring 100 writers for some odd reason, do you see any value in bringing in actual comic book writers to pen script? I'd love to see a Chip Zdarsky pen Spider-Man script or Scott Snyder handling Batman. What do you think? What do you think?
Yes, but also skills don't always necessarily translate. And
Okay.
also a script doesn't necessarily make its way to the screen fully formed.
Right.
Often
Also, there's
it's-
probably some union things as well.
Probably. And you got to pay
there's-
more money.
I bet there is a sort of a real issue getting comic book writers into like the screenwriting guild
Yeah.
somehow.
Early days of Marvel, the MCU, they had a comic book room. They had a bunch of famous comic book
Yeah,
writers.
Stan
and
Lee
artists.
was in there, Jack Kirby. You
Yeah.
mean the MCU, James?
What did I say?
You said Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
Stan
Marvel.
Lee.
That is Marvel.
Steve Ditko.
Stan
was
Lee
there.
was in there. He's like, what if a Spider-Man had a spider power?
What if, Stan? What if, all right?
We did those already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm
yeah.
hearing this for the first time.
I like the idea of it. Yeah, try it.
yeah.
That's
Or
it.
just original, more originaler ideas.
Or Secret Wars again.
Or Secret Wars again, I suppose.
This one's from Mitch Craig, who says, do you have any standby cogs? Caravan of garbage.
Oh, yes.
How many? What are they? We have one we played years ago, a Terminator Salvation video game one.
Oh.
But it's nothing, and I'll never
Oh.
release it. And people might be like, I want to see it. You don't. It's not that interesting. And I've got one from a Hellboy animated movie, again from years ago, which was like, it wasn't terrible, but
Right,
I just
okay.
didn't get
No memory of that at all.
And also, this one, I'm pretty sure is gone forever because it's on an old laptop. This one is from like probably 8 years ago. We did a Death of Superman video game playthrough. We didn't get very far, and it wasn't very interesting.
Okay.
And that was so those, but they'll and you'll probably never see them.
So
They'll
true.
end up on a laptop, and then that laptop will go in a pile of dead laptops.
Yeah.
And then it's
that
gone.
will be thrown into your grave.
Correct.
Yeah, the big pile. Here's one more email, James.
But we do we get ahead of them.
Yeah, that's
We're
true.
normally at least 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah. There's one more off. This is from Ryan.
Ryan.
Hey, fellas, I'm writing to you from Vancouver.
Whoa.
To ask, what is the first thing you do when the recording stops? I just finished listening to an episode, and I really wondered what you guys say to each other after the bye that we get every week. Huge fan, day one big sandwich subscriber. Big love from Vancouver.
I mean, it's not that indifferent. Indifferent? It's pretty indifferent. It's not that different.
What do you, yeah?
We're the same, I guess. When we switch off.
Oh, no, I think he means physically, what do we do?
Oh, well, I send the files to Collins, and then
Yep.
we leave the room.
Yeah.
Sometimes we watch a Mr. Beast video and go, God.
People know about that.
People know about
Sometimes
that.
we go for a little walk.
Sometimes we go for a walk.
Sometimes we get Red Rooster.
Sometimes we won't get Red Rooster tonight, I would say.
No, it's too late for Red
It's too late
Rooster.
for Red Rooster. We'd die. It's too
Yeah,
late. What else do we do?
Pat the dog.
Had the dog. I'll probably have a shower.
Yep.
Yeah. Get ready for bed.
Sure.
Probably smoke a cigarette.
Whoa.
I probably smoked 10 cigarettes.
He's probably
actually.
smoked 10 cigarettes.
Oh, probably,
But can
yeah.
you beat that record tonight?
Yeah.
11
easy.
cigarettes?
Easy.
Okay. Right.
I've been practicing smoking 10 and a half cigarettes.
Oh, wow. I reckon you can
Yeah.
break that barrier.
I don't really smoke cigarettes before bed, everybody. So they know. That would be insane.
I drive home, or if I haven't driven, I'll get the train.
Yeah. But today,
I drove. Thank you.
very good.
Thank you.
That's probably it, really. It's not very interesting, is it?
No.
Yeah. Normal life happens. Sometimes I go straight back into parenting, depending if I have to. That's, yeah. Sometimes I go visit somebody. Be like, what's going on? Maybe I'll do that.
And sometimes we have salacious gossip about people we know.
So we do that sometimes quite a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. We're like, oh, remember this idiot. And
Yeah.
then we'll
Talk about how
that
much
for-
of an idiot they are.
But
Yeah.
it might be for like a really long time. It's also nobody and anybody would know.
That's true.
Or an interesting person, but we
Sure.
get locked into it. Yeah. That's it.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. You want to know what's crazy thing that happened? See this air conditioner?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I turned it on the other day
Uh-huh.
and I heard this scuttering.
Oh,
Something,
a scuttered air conditioning.
and then this fell out and started wiggling around.
That's like a worm.
It's a tail of a gecko.
Oh.
So there's a gecko in there,
A
and it either
gecko.
dropped its tail in a panic, or
Because it knew you were coming at it.
yeah, or it got jammed,
Uh-huh.
and then it was. I've got a video. I'm gonna throw this outside. Actually.
You should throw it outside. Why you've kept it this long is maddening to me.
forgot.
All right.
And it was just wiggling around on the floor.
Oh, wiggle it
You wanna see a
around.
video of it?
I guess.
There we go, man. I made chocolates with my kids today. That was fun. We made our own fillings.
Oh.
Check this out. Air conditioning unit.
Yeah. Whoa, it's moving. It's
Yeah, man.
wriggling.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
So
Life's
there-
crazy
There's
sometimes.
a gecko in my air conditioning unit. Might still be in there.
Hang on, you're just recalling the plot of the best Black Mirror episode. Remember when there was a gecko in that guy's air conditioning
I think that's
unit?
a Red Mirror episode you'll find,
Yeah,
Mason.
yeah.
All right, that's the show.
Folks, that is the whole show. Thank you so much for listening. We absolutely appreciate it.
Amen, brother.
Thank you for telling your friends about it because that is how we get new listeners. And thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. If you do so, James will find it. He'll track you down. He'll read it out right now.
I'm doing it right now. This one is from Dan Bova1, who says, very good, but it's called The Weekly Planet, and they almost never talk about planets. Full refund, please. Yes, we do. We talk about different worlds.
Yeah. A world where you have to drink your own piss.
That's right. Every piece of content or IP we talk about is on a different world. So that counts as planets. Idiot. No, thank you for the review. This one's from Paradias, who says, pretty nice time. Beats sitting in silence and staring at the wall. 5 stars.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
That's absolutely right.
God damn.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Or you can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. Or the Weekly Planet Podcast subreddit and Discord for fun civil chats about podcasts and pop culture.
Never
Thank
been in
you.
the Discord. Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't
Hope it's
know.
good.
I don't even know how you
I don't know
access
what
it.
it works.
Do you need an app?
Yeah.
Do you go on your browser?
Yeah, you need to know.
That's great. Thank you to Sarabi and Maisie
Ooh,
and Fidel for
the best.
moderating those forums. They do all sorts of other stuff behind the scenes, including videos for our Clips channel and our TikTok and all sorts of stuff. If you want to follow some people on the socials, first follow our friend Rob Collings on Twitter. He's at Raw Collings. He's at The Weekly Planet. He'll keep you up to
Hell
date.
yeah.
He'll keep you up to date on all things The Weekly Planet. You can also follow me on Twitter at Wikipedia Brown and on Instagram I'm Nick Maso. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you want to support the show,
I
you
should
go to-
post more on Instagram.
Yeah, it's good, isn't
But
it?
I don't. Maybe I'll put that gecko video on.
Yeah, do it.
Should I?
Yeah, and
I'll
then
just write, is this what you want?
hashtag Thunderbolts, hashtag Secret War.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hashtag Doomsday. If you want to support the show, you go to patreon.com/Mr.
easy.
Sunday Movies, chuck in a buck or an amount you would not miss, or go to bigsandwich.co for $9 per month. Bonus podcasts, early videos, video game let's plays, bonus material.
Oh, yeah.
We have a great time.
We've had the best time of our lives.
That's right. If you want a t-shirt, you go to tpublic.com, search for The Weekly Planet or Weekly Planet posters.
They're free.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk.
They're free,
for all-
aren't
They're not free.
Oh.
And Rackham for all our musical themes.
Yeah.
Next week, the movie Sinners.
Can't wait.
I'm excited. I hope
Ryan
it's good.
Coogler's next.
That's right.
Michael B. Jordan and Michael C. Jordan. Let's
That's right.
freaking go.
Let's freaking go.
And it's still school holidays, so good luck with that, Mason.
Kids aren't going to see Sinners.
They're loving Sinners.
They're not,
They're
no.
seeing 2 Michael B. Jordans and watching them kiss.
Yes, that's probably true.
Don't you think?
Kids probably like that.
They probably do.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
they're up to. Creeps, all of them.
That's right.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Grab that Jeremy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Should we leave it recording and then people know what our lives are like?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Butler, bring us more champagne
Very good.
and caviar.
This isn't the champagne or caviar that I wanted.
Let's Let's belt him.
Yeah, let's beat him up and kill him, and then we'll get a different butler.
That's right.
Which is easy for us because we're
Rich,
so
so
rich.
rich.
Yeah, we've killed 9 butlers.
God, this is great.
This week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's great. It's great.
People think we're common men,
but we're not.
we're not.
That's right. Why are we still recording this?
I want people to know.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll think it's a joke,
Yep.
but it's not.
not
This
a
is
joke.
what we're really like.
That's right.
We're murderers of butlers.
But I think it's also a testament to our professionalism that while we're killing this butler, we can still talk like this.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
Collins has cut out all the murder noises.
I don't think he has. We're just really good at this.
Oh, that's
We'll do
great.
a silent murder on a butler.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I was going to say goodbye, but we already did that.
That's right.
So I guess we'll just stop the recording and upload this as is.
The evidence of our murder,
Correct.
our butler murder.